Hey, welcome to The Feast Life, where we empower you, the modern homeschool mom, to create a life and homeschool you love. I'm Julie Ross, the creator of the award-winning curriculum A Gentle Feast, a homeschool veteran of over 20 years, and a certified Christian life coach. Charlotte Mason said, life should be all living, not a mere tedious passing of time. So on this show, we seek to savor the feast of life. So go get your favorite beverage and pull up a chair. You're welcome at this table. Are you tired of feeling like you're constantly chasing perfection, comparing yourself to others, or just doing one more thing to prove you're enough and deserve rest? In this episode, I'm sharing 3 things I'm letting go of as I go into 2025. Perfectionism, comparison, and the relentless drive to do more. Let's free ourselves from these burdens and create homes filled with peace, connection, and joy. Hello everyone, welcome to The Feast Life. I'm your host, Julie Ross, and today we're going to be diving into a deeply personal topic. I'm going to be telling you 3 things I am letting go of as I step into 2025. At the start of this new year, I've been reflecting on things that have held me back, caused me stress, or stolen my joy in life. And 3 big ones stood out: perfectionism, comparison, and the need to always do one more thing. They are struggles that so many of us face, especially as homeschool moms. They're the voices that whisper, you're not enough. You're not doing this right. Or if you just worked harder, you'd be better. But this year I'm saying goodbye to those voices. My hope is that as you listen to this episode, you'll feel inspired to do the same in your life. So grab a cup of coffee or tea, get comfy, and let's talk about how we can let go and create a life that's full of connection, peace, and joy. So to start off with, let's talk about perfectionism, because if you're anything like me, this one is a biggie. Let me paint a picture for you. It's the end of a very long day. The kids are finally in bed, and you're standing in the kitchen, deciding between taking a shower or diving straight into bed with a bar of chocolate. But instead of unwinding, your mind starts replaying every moment from the day that didn't go as planned. Maybe it's that math lesson that ended in a blowout. Maybe the laundry wasn't folded just right. Or maybe your child was helping with the vegetables, but cutting the vegetables for dinner, but they really didn't meet your standards. Does that sound familiar? As homeschool moms, we often feel the weight of trying to do everything perfectly. We want to plan flawless lessons, keep an immaculate house, and maintain a happy, thriving home. But here's the truth. That constant pursuit of perfectionism doesn't just exhaust us, it can create unnecessary tension in our relationships and stifle growth for our kids. Let's talk about something I call the I know best mentality. You know the voice I'm talking about, the one that says, if I don't do it, it's not going to be done right. It's this voice that leads us to micromanage our kids, critique their snack choices, or have them redo the history timeline because it doesn't look the way we envisioned it. While this mindset often comes from a place of love, it can create real challenges. For our kids, it can stifle their confidence and independence. For other adults in our lives, it can lead to resentment or makes them feel unappreciated. And for us, y'all, it's absolutely exhausting carrying the weight of needing everything to be done just so. What's even more ironic is that the more we try to control, the less others step up to help. It reinforces the belief then that only we can handle it, and it leaves us feeling stuck and exhausted. So why do we fall into this trap? Where does this need to control come from? Well, it's often a mix of factors. First, there's societal pressure, right? We're constantly bombarded on Instagram with images of the perfect mom who has it all together, the flawless homeschooling with happy children, the beautifully maintained house, the beautiful meals and bread, and she never breaks a sweat, right? Then there's insecurity. Sometimes trying to control everyone feels like a way to manage our fears about not really being good enough or not doing enough for our kids. And then, of course, there's perfectionism itself, that inner drive to go above and beyond and to have everything planned, polished, and exceeding our expectations. And finally, many of us are influenced by our past. If we grew up with a mom knows best dynamic, we might find ourselves trying to replicate that, often without even realizing what we're doing. But here's the thing. This need to control has real consequences. When we constantly swoop in to fix everything, our kids miss out on opportunities to grow and learn because the way that we grow and learn is through mistakes. They don't develop the confidence that comes from figuring things out themselves. Our partners can feel criticized or undervalued when their contributions are micromanaged. And let's be honest, this relentless pressure we put on ourselves, it's exhausting. It robs us of joy, creativity, and the freedom just to be present with our kids. So what can we do about it? How can we control our control and embrace imperfection in our homeschool? So here are a few ideas. Number one, ask instead of fix. Instead of stepping in, ask your kids or your spouse, how would you handle this? That kind of question encourages collaboration and it builds trust. Number two, embrace good enough. Remember, not everything has to be perfect to be meaningful. Number three, reframe mistakes. Life is messy. Mistakes are opportunities for growth. They are not failures. Number four, share your vulnerabilities. Let your kids see that you don't have all the answers and that it's okay. And number five, reflect on your triggers. Notice when your need to control is at its loudest and pause. Take a time out and ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Mama, you don't have to do it all or do it perfectly to be enough. Your value isn't in how flawless your homeschool day went or how organized your home is. It's in the love, connection, and laughter you share with your family. So embrace the mess. Let go of the reins just a little bit and open your heart to the joy that comes from imperfection. All right, so we can let go of the need to control and be perfect in 2025. And the second thing is we can let go of comparison. Comparison, oh, that sneaky thief of joy. Have you ever been scrolling on Instagram and seen a post from another mom who seems to have it all together? Her homeschool looks like a Pottery Barn catalog. Her kids are doing hands-on science experiments and her meals could rival a five-star restaurant. Meanwhile, you're just trying to make it to the end of the day. Even though we know social media is a highlight reel, it's hard not to hear that little voice saying, oh, why can't I do that? Comparison can make us question our worth, fill us with guilt, and disconnect us from the unique path we're on. But here's the truth. No one's life is perfect. Everyone has struggles, even if they're not showing them to you. And when we stop comparing ourselves to others, we could start appreciating our own journey. So let's start off with what mom comparison actually is. Comparison is nothing new. Moms have always compared themselves to others, but today's constant connection through social media amplifies it in a way that's hard for us to escape. Modern mom comparison isn't just wishing you were like someone else. It can make us question our worth as mothers and homeschoolers. It can create feelings of guilt and shame or even resentment toward these other moms. And worst of all, it disconnects us from what makes us uniquely us. But here's the truth. Comparison really is the thief of joy. When we fall into the trap of comparing our lives to someone else's curated highlights, we miss out on appreciating our own journey. Why do we compare ourselves to others in the first place? Well, for many of us, it's because we're wired to seek validation. We want to know we're doing a good job, especially when it comes to something as personal and as important as raising and educating our kids. But the problem with comparison is that it often lacks context. When you see another mom's picture-perfect homeschool setup, you're only seeing the result, not the messy middle, the late nights, or her moments of self-doubt. You're comparing your raw, unfiltered life to someone else's polished highlight reel, and that's never a fair comparison. This comparison can affect us in so many ways. Are you ready to finally set goals that stick and transform your homeschool along the way? I get it. Each year you start with big dreams and resolutions determined to make this year the best yet for you and your homeschool. But as the days blur together and life happens, these dreams get pushed to the back burner. The sparkle of the new year fades, and once again you're left feeling stuck, overwhelmed, and disappointed. Sound familiar? Well, you're not alone in the struggle. So many homeschool moms feel the same. We get caught up in the day-to-day, and, well, our own goals and desires can feel like luxuries we just don't have time for. And the biggest reason, we often set goals without digging deep into what truly matters to us and what fits our values as homeschool moms. Without this grounding, our plans lose momentum, leaving us feeling frustrated and defeated. But what if this year things could be different? What if you could step off the cycle of unmet goals and frustration? Imagine being able to set goals that honor your personal growth and your family's needs, giving you clarity and renewed sense of purpose. Welcome to my goal setting retreat for homeschool moms. Designed around a powerful 3-day retreat, this course will guide you through a process of reflection, vision casting, and purpose-driven goal setting tailored specifically for homeschool moms. This isn't about quick fixes or just another to-do list. It's about creating a fulfilling path for growth that aligns with your deepest core values. In this course, you'll discover day 1 is reflect and realign. We're going to take a look back with fresh eyes, celebrate what went well, and uncover lessons from the toughest moments. This reflective process will bring you clarity and help you create goals that genuinely resonate with you. Then we're going to craft a vision for the year that considers both your personal aspirations and the needs of your homeschool. Then we're going to resolve. We're going to move from intention to action with step-by-step guidance, practical tools, and weekly planning tips that will help you keep on track. So if you're ready to break free from what you've always done and stepped into a life in homeschool you truly love, make sure you sign up for my goal setting retreat today. Go to thefeastlife.me/goals. Again, that's thefeastlife.me/goals, and I hope to see you inside the goal setting retreat. First of all, emotionally, right? We can start to feel guilt, we can start to feel shame, embarrassment, discouragement. Mentally, it creates this overwhelm and a sense that we're never going to measure up. And then spiritually, it disconnects you from the Holy Spirit. It makes you doubt the unique path that God has you on. But here's the good news. Comparison can also be a tool for growth if we approach it with a sense of curiosity instead of judgment. So instead of letting comparison bring you down, use it as a chance to reflect on what matters most to you. So here are some questions you can ask yourself when you start to feel that mom guilt, when you start to envy another mom. First of all, ask yourself, what appeals to me about this? Why am I drawn to this? Is this mom prioritizing connection with her kids? Is it her creativity? Is it the organization? What do I admire? Sometimes envy points us to something we value, but that we haven't created in our own lives yet. And then ask yourself, does this reflect my personal values or just what I feel pressured to value? Not everything we admire needs to be a part of our lives. The key is to separate what's truly important from us and what's just noise. So when you feel yourself being overwhelmed and compare, I want you to take a pause, take some deep breaths, recenter yourself, focus on gratitude. Ask yourself, what am I proud of as a mom today? What's one thing I'm already doing beautifully for my family? And then open your eyes, and I want you to name 3 things that you're grateful for, big or small. When we can focus on gratitude, it recenters us. It takes us away from the comparison, and it lets us find joy in what is right in front of us. All right, so we're going to let go of perfectionism, comparison, and then last but not least, the need to do one more thing. So finally, let's talk about this mindset of just one more thing. You know, the one I'm talking about. Oh, just one more lesson plan. Oh, just one more load of laundry. Oh, just one more tweak to the schedule. I used to believe that doing more would make me feel accomplished, but instead it left me exhausted and groggy. I was chasing an invisible finish line of enough. And here's what I realized. Doing more doesn't make us more. Resting, connecting, and being present, that's what truly fills you with joy. So this year, I'm redefining what enough looks like. For me, enough is finishing the day knowing I showed up for the things that truly matter. It's saying I've done enough and trusting that it's true. So let me start with a story. I found myself sitting at my desk late at night after everyone else had gone to bed. I had spent the entire day teaching, cleaning, managing the household, and I knew I should go to bed. But instead, I whispered to myself, just one more thing. Maybe you've been there, planning one more lesson, doing one more chore. It feels productive, but here's the truth, it's not. Those late night hours weren't game changing, and they weren't even necessary. They were just me chasing an invisible finish line of enough. Enough as a mom, enough as a teacher, enough to finally feel like I actually deserved to rest. But instead of feeling accomplished, I went to bed drained and I woke up groggy. I realized I was sacrificing my health and my connection with my family for tasks that honestly didn't really matter. Does any of this resonate with you? Okay, so let's unpack why we fall into this trap and, most importantly, how do we get out of it? So, why do we as moms fall into the trap of just one more thing? Well, it has a lot to do with how we define success. For many of us, our self worth is tied up in how much we do. When we rest, we kind of feel like we're failing, like we're falling behind or we're letting someone down. But that drive to always do more doesn't come from love or ambition. We feel this compulsive need to do more out of fear. Fear that if I don't keep going, my kids aren't going to learn enough. Fear that if I stop, I'm going to lose momentum. Fear that I'm never going to be good enough as a mom, as a person. But here's the hard truth. That fear doesn't actually make you a better mom. It just makes you tired. And tired moms don't create homes that are filled with love and joy and peace. But the good news is you can redefine success, because success isn't about doing more. It's about showing up fully for the things that actually matter most. So let's talk about what enough really looks like in homeschool and motherhood. And spoiler alert, it's not about finishing your to-do list or having a Pinterest perfect home. Enough is about being present. It's how you actually feel throughout your day. It's about creating a homeschool that serves your family, not just one that makes you busy and consumes all your time and energy. It's about trusting that what you've done today is enough and the rest can wait. So here's a practical exercise. The next time you feel the pull to do just one more thing, ask yourself these 3 questions. Am I doing this because it's truly necessary to do right now, or because I'm afraid of what will happen if I stop? Number 2, will this task bring me closer to the homeschool and life I want, or is it just busy work? And number 3, what would happen if I just trusted myself and rested right now? Often we realize that the tasks we feel pressured to do can actually wait. And by stepping away, we create space for rest, creativity, and connection. So now that we've explored this mindset shift, let's get really practical. How can you create a balance between homeschool and motherhood? Because there's always one more thing to do on both of those lists, right? Okay, here are some strategies that may help. Number 1, set boundaries. Define your hours for homeschooling and household tasks. For example, commit to finishing your homeschool day by 2:00 and then focusing on your household tasks, or doing those things in the morning and then having your set homeschool hours, not that they're always blending together. Number 2, prioritize self-care. Rest isn't a luxury. It is essential. Make time for the things that recharge you, like reading, journaling, taking a walk outside. Number 3, involve your kids in the household duties. Give your children age-appropriate responsibilities. Again, that goes back to like the letting go of perfectionism and let them do it their own way. Once you can do this, this will lighten your load, but it's also teaching your children essential, valuable life skills. Don't rob them of the opportunity to learn these life skills. Number 4, focus on connection. Remember, homeschooling is about relationships, not just checking off boxes, not just finishing the lessons. Prioritize meaningful moments with your kids over perfection. And then the hardest one, embrace flexibility, because, life happens. Some days won't go as planned, and that's okay. Give yourself grace and adapt and improvise. Let me leave you with this. We've done enough for today. As homeschool moms, we're not just teaching our kids, we're shaping their childhood, and we're building a legacy. But that legacy isn't measured in how much you accomplish. It's measured by how deeply and intentionally you're showing up. Your children will not remember every lesson and everything they learned, but they will remember how they felt in your homeschool. So tonight, when the house is quiet and you feel tempted to tackle one more thing, ask yourself, how can I honor my time and energy? What do I need to do to show up tomorrow as my best self? Remember, you're not just homeschooling, you're building a life. And the best way to do that is to show up fully rested, present, and at peace. So there you have it. The 3 things I'm letting go of in 2025. Perfectionism, comparison, and the need to do one more thing. It's not easy to let go of those things, but it's necessary if we want to create homes filled with peace, joy, and connection. So as you step into the new year, I invite you to reflect on what you want to let go of. What's been holding you back? What's been stealing your joy? And how can you create more space for the things that truly matter? Thank you so much for spending time with me today. If this episode resonated with you, I would love to hear your thoughts. Share your biggest takeaway on Instagram and tag me at A Gentle Feast. And don't forget to grab my free guide, 5 Easy Steps to a Life-Giving Homeschool, that we will link in the show notes. Until next time, remember, you are enough, you have done enough, and please, mama, go get you some rest. Thanks for listening. All right, thanks for listening to today's episode. I hope that was helpful for you to think of some things that you can let go of as we go into the new year. Let's wrap up with some key takeaways. So number 1, we talked about letting go of perfectionism. Perfectionism creates unnecessary tension, and it stifles growth for you and your family. Embrace the beauty of imperfection and allow space for mistakes and learning moments. And remember, good enough is more than enough. That's what creates meaningful memories. Number 2, let go of comparison. Social media amplifies the pressure to compare, but remember, it's a highlight reel, not reality. Reflect on what truly matters to you rather than feeling pressured to meet external expectations. Turn envy into clarity by asking, what value does this reflect? What can I celebrate in my own journey? And then number 3, let go of always trying to do one more thing. Doing more doesn't make you more worthy as a person. Instead, focus on being present and prioritizing what actually matters most. Rest is not failure. Rest is essential for showing up fully for your family. Redefine success by creating space for what truly matters: connection, creativity, and joy with your people over busyness. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this episode, please heart it down below and make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. Leave a comment and let me know what you learned in today's episode. I'd love to hear from you.